In a way, I'm sort of jealous of music, because music surrounds you, and it can like overpower you and change your attitude, your mood. And so what I've attempted to do is sort of something like a Stravinsky symphony, is build a space where you become the sculpture is the surroundings, and you walk through the middle of it, so that all your senses are affected. And so what we've done is decided to build things only out of found objects, not because it saves you any money, but it forces you to use things that you ordinarily wouldn't use. Oh yeah, I'm working on a big project that'll sort of shrink this to insignificance. In a way, this building here was the world's largest shoe company, and I've acquired what was at one time the world's largest cement factory, which is this 53-acre giant industrial wasteland playground.
A mad genius, a revolutionary project, and a controversial murder. This is the story of the inspiring rise and tragic demise of St. Louis's greatest lost attraction. In the early 2000s, self-made artist, sculptor, and real estate developer Bob Casilly acquired the Missouri Portland Cement Factory, 55 acres of abandoned industrial property in North St. Louis, ripe with potential. Casilly saw what he could do with the Riverside factory and bought the property, making it the site of his future magnum opus. This was not Casilly's first run-in with repurposing derelict properties. About a decade prior, he transformed an old shoe factory building into what is now the City Museum. A wacky, multi-level jungle gym of interactive sculptures, slides, caves, tree houses, and much more, all made from repurposed materials. After the massive success of the City Museum, Casilly wanted to go bigger and create a destination even more ambitious. His ideas for his next project included medieval castle elements, water slides that cascaded down through metal bins, interactive sculptures of fantastical creatures, extensive trails and tunnels, and even a 250-foot-tall smokestack to throw rocks off of, all built in and around the existing factory buildings. To top it all off, Casilly planned to partner with the state to create a conservation center along the edge of the Mississippi, along with a restaurant and observation deck on a trestle extending out into the river. This menagerie of reused materials was to be creatively assembled to form what could be the next big attraction in St. Louis, and it would be called Cementland. Bob Casilly described his future masterpiece as a giant art installation you can play in, anti-elitist. He felt that art had alienated people, and what he was working on would bring them together. During Cementland's construction, Bob Casilly and his team brought warehouses of used materials and scooped mountains of dirt to form the Missouri Portland Cement Factory into a marvel of creative brilliance. Casilly was seen nearly every day on site, moving dirt around with his bulldozer. His commitment to seeing his projects through, no matter how outlandish they may have seemed, was truly commendable. To understand Cementland, we have to take a step back to a previous project of a similar nature, the City Museum. On paper, the place is absolutely insane. No one, except for Bob Casilly, could have brought to reality the complexity and intricacy of the space. To those unfamiliar, the City Museum appears to be complete chaos. No amount of maps or directories would be able to clearly navigate someone through the vast, multi-level maze of tunnels, tree houses, caverns, and slides that pack the old shoe factory building like neuron pathways in a brain. As someone spends more time there, though, the layout and planning shine through. Only by crawling around and getting lost for hours can one start to piece together the genius of the ever-evolving space. The City Museum was a smashing success, and still is for tourists and locals alike looking to share in the magic. Bob Cassilly believed that his next passion project would be an even grander and more elaborate endeavor than the first. One can imagine the excitement of longtime fans of the City Museum hearing about a new Cassilly project in development. One that could be beneficial to the local economy and provide a fun new experience for people of all ages. But not everyone seemed to be in favor of the artist-turned-property developer. On the morning of Monday, September 26, 2011, Bob Casilly was found dead at Cementland, slumped inside the cabin of a bulldozer. The bulldozer had tipped while Casilly was moving dirt and had rolled down a hill, fatally injuring him. At least that's what the initial police report and press wrapped his death up to be, a tragic accident. However, from the start, there were discrepancies surrounding the case. No time of death was ever established, and the medical examiner's office still had the case open, while the police had closed it. For years, the story of Casilly's death being an accident remained the explanation, but his family held suspicions that something more had happened. In 2016, they hired medical expert Dr. Arthur Combs to investigate the case further. He examined the wounds that were found on Casilly's body, along with the bulldozer that supposedly killed him. After analyzing photos of the crime scene and studies of bulldozer deaths, the conclusion was made that what had happened to Bob Cassilly was no accident. The nature of his wounds were more akin to those found in beatings, and could not have been caused by anything inside the cabin of the bulldozer. What had been considered bad luck for years was now confirmed to be nothing other than a murder. The question remains, who could have carried out the act, robbing St. Louis of such a beloved figure? Bob Casilly's passing brought the ongoing construction of Cementland to a dead stop. With no one stepping forward to pick up the reins on the past decade of hard work and continue with his vision, Cementland was left abandoned. Casilly's death not only left Cementland, but also his wife, Melissa Giovanni Casilly, and his daughter, Daisy. In a St. Louis Post-Dispatch article, Casilly's daughter reportedly said that she had been told not to discuss the future of Cementland, and his wife did not return calls. The property sat in an extended probate for years, without any news on the fate of Cementland. The most recent development on the status of Casilly's final project was an auction in May of 2022, where the property was sold for a little over $700,000. The prospect of Cementland ever reaching completion as the revolutionary attraction that it was once to become is grim, as the buyers of the site will most likely use it for industrial purposes. The site's strategic location next to the Mississippi River, along with the waterfront access, make it a valuable resource for shipping companies. Since the untimely death of Bob Casilly and the abandonment of Cementland, the site has become a popular destination for young people seeking to explore what was completed. Even while Casilly and his team were constructing Cementland, people were occasionally found on the property. Casilly once let a local band record a music video there. While guards and police have been known to check in on the property and hand out citations to trespassers, videos, photos, and tips for breaking in continue to pop up online. The magical lure of the cement factory speaks to the potential that it had, and how popular it would have been if given the chance to come to completion. It seems only right that time and time again, people come and take the risk to sneak onto the property and see it for themselves. After all, Bob's vision for Cementland was a place where you'll be able to do all the things that were normally illegal. Do all the things kids used to sneak into a plant to do, looking for adventure.